In today's interconnected world, international travel has never been more accessible. With just a passport and a plane ticket, many travelers can hop across borders and explore new cultures, cuisines, and landscapes. However, international travel also comes with legal and bureaucratic obligations, one of the most important being the need for travel authorization. If you're a citizen of Saint Kitts and Nevis and are planning a trip to Canada, understanding the Electronic Travel Authorization, or eTA, is essential. It's a small but vital detail that could determine whether you board your flight or are turned away at the airport. In this guide, we'll explore what an ETA is, why it's required for Saint Kitts and Nevis citizens, how to apply for one, and what to expect during your Canadian adventure. Whether you're planning a family holiday, business trip, or a scenic escape, here's everything you need to know about the ETA and why it's your golden key to Canada. What is an ETA? An Electronic Travel Authorization, or ETA, is a digital entry requirement for visa-exempt foreign nationals traveling to Canada by air. It's electronically linked to your passport and is valid for up to 5 years or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. The ETA allows travelers to fly to Canada for tourism, business, or transit purposes and stay for up to 6 months per visit. Think of the ETA as Canada's way of pre-screening travelers before they even board a flight. It's not a visa, but it functions as a mini clearance check that enhances border security while maintaining a smooth travel experience for approved travelers. Why is an ETA required for Saint Kitts and Nevis citizens? Saint Kitts and Nevis is among several Caribbean countries whose citizens do not require a traditional visa to enter Canada for short stays. However, visa-exempt travelers are still required to obtain an ETA before flying to Canada. This requirement was introduced by the Canadian government as part of its broader border security enhancement strategy. The ETA program helps Canadian authorities identify potential risks before travelers arrive, while also simplifying entry procedures for approved travelers. For citizens of Saint Kitts and Nevis, this means that although you're spared the longer, more complex visa application process, you must still apply for an ETA to ensure legal entry into Canada by air. Subscribe for more adventures. When do you need an ETA? You need an ETA only if you're traveling to Canada by air. Here's a breakdown. Flying to Canada from Saint Kitts and Nevis, you need an ETA. Entering Canada by land or sea, for example, from the US, you don't need an ETA, but you may still need to meet certain entry requirements. Transiting through a Canadian airport on your way to another country, you need an ETA. It's important to note that even if you're just connecting flights through a Canadian airport, an ETA is required. Applying for an ETA is a simple, online-only process that usually takes just a few minutes. Here's how to do it. Step 1. Gather your documents. You'll need a valid passport from Saint Kitts and Nevis, a credit or debit card, and an email address. Step 2. Visit the official website. Only apply through the official Government of Canada website, www.canada.ca/ETA. Beware of unofficial or third-party sites that charge excessive fees or request unnecessary information. Step 3. Fill out the application. The application form is straightforward. You'll provide personal information like your name, birth date, and nationality, passport details, and answers to health and security-related questions. Step 4. Pay the fee. The cost of an ETA is $7 Canadian. Payment is made online using a debit or credit card. Step 5. Wait for approval. Most ETA applications are approved within minutes, though some may take up to 72 hours if additional verification is required. Once approved, your ETA will be electronically linked to your passport. If you try to board a flight to Canada without a valid ETA, the airline will deny you boarding. This can result in missed flights, lost money on non-refundable tickets, canceled plans, and emotional stress. In rare cases, travelers have been detained or sent back to their country of origin. The ETA is a small formality, but skipping it can have serious consequences. Once approved, the ETA is valid for 5 years or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. During its validity, you can enter Canada multiple times without needing to reapply, as long as each stay is up to 6 months. What if you get a new passport? If you renew or replace your passport, your existing ETA becomes invalid because it is tied to the specific passport you used during your application. You'll need to apply for a new ETA using your updated passport details. Can you work or study on an ETA? No. The ETA allows only short-term visits for purposes such as tourism, business meetings, visiting family or friends, and transiting through Canada. If you plan to study, work, or immigrate, you must apply for the appropriate visa or permit from Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, or IRCC for short. Real-life travel scenario. Let's walk through a real-life example. Meet Jason from Saint Kitts. Jason, a 32-year-old software engineer from Basseterre, decides to take a 2-week vacation in Vancouver, Canada. He books a round-trip flight and starts planning his itinerary, excited about hiking Grouse Mountain and visiting the Capilano Suspension Bridge. Jason's mistake. Jason didn't realize he needed an ETA. At the airport check-in counter, the airline staff asks to see proof of his ETA. He doesn't have one, and the airline refuses to let him board. The fix. Jason applies for an ETA from his phone at the airport. Thankfully, it's approved within 15 minutes, and he's able to catch a later flight. While it worked out, he vows never to skip this step again. Frequently asked questions, FAQ. Is the ETA a visa? No, the ETA is not a visa. It's a travel authorization required for visa-exempt travelers flying to Canada. Can I enter Canada without an ETA if I'm driving from the US? Yes, the ETA is only required for air travel. If you're entering Canada by land or sea, like by ferry, you don't need an ETA. How long does it take to get an ETA? Most applications are approved within minutes, but some may take up to 72 hours if further processing is needed. Do children need an ETA? Yes. Every traveler flying to Canada, including infants and children, must have an individual ETA or visa if required, even if they are traveling with parents or guardians. Can I extend my stay once I'm in Canada? You may apply to extend your stay from within Canada, but you must do so at least 30 days before your authorized stay expires. Why visit Canada? Once your ETA is approved and your bags are packed, the real adventure begins. Canada is a dream destination offering a range of experiences. Natural wonders like Niagara Falls, Banff National Park, and the Northern Lights. World-class cities such as Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and Ottawa. Diverse cuisine from French-Canadian delicacies to multicultural street food. Cultural events including international film festivals, jazz concerts, and winter carnivals. And seasonal adventures like skiing in Whistler, summer hikes, and fall foliage tours. Whether you're exploring the cosmopolitan streets of Toronto or soaking in the tranquil beauty of Nova Scotia's coastline, Canada has something for everyone. The Electronic Travel Authorization is a simple yet crucial requirement for Saint Kitts and Nevis citizens flying to Canada. It's fast, affordable, and essential for ensuring smooth entry into one of the world's most welcoming countries. Skipping it or delaying your application can result in denied boarding and travel disruptions, something every traveler wants to avoid. So if you're dreaming of exploring the majestic Rockies, sipping hot cocoa in Quebec City, or reconnecting with family in Toronto, make sure you've ticked off this critical step. Planning your next trip? Want tips, travel guides, and updates sent straight to your inbox? Subscribe for more adventures. Stay informed, travel smart, and let your wanderlust lead the way. Happy travels, and see you in Canada.